Hello to everyone. A statement by the International Women's Solidarity Council. In solidarity with the hunger strike of the prisoners of Qazal against the execution machine and the organized policy of this, the International Women's Solidarity Council declares its full solidarity with the hunger strike of prisoners of the Qazal Prison Unit 2, a strike that began in protest against the intensification of the execution of these sentences and has become a voice against the Islamic Republic's execution machine. From the first years of its establishment, the Islamic Republic has turned execution into one of the pillars of power and the tool to create terror, suppress freedom fighters, political opponents, social activists, protest movements, and masses of people fighting against poverty, discrimination, injustice, and tyranny. The execution machine has not stopped in all 4 decades. What we are witnessing today is not the genesis of execution, but the intensification and acceleration of this machine in a situation where the government is facing the consequences of war, deep economic and social crisis, the spread of public discontent, and the erosion of its political legitimacy. By increasing the execution of these sentences, the Islamic Republic is trying to create an atmosphere of fear, break down social resistance, and increase the cost of protesting and organizing people. Execution, regardless of the charge and without any justification, is the intentional murder of a government organized and the deprivation of the fundamental right of life by the government. The Islamic Republic's execution machine has always targeted freedom fighters, political opponents, civil society activists, social protesters, and women who stand against discrimination, repression, and injustice, and has simultaneously sent airports and masses of people living under the pressure of the system's devastating economic and social policies to the brink of poverty, unemployment, high prices, and inequality. Meanwhile, the main perpetrators and beneficiaries of structural corruption, organized looting, and large smuggling networks enjoy immunity by relying on links to power centers. This fact shows that execution in the Islamic Republic is a mechanism for exercising power, eliminating dissent, creating terror, and maintaining unequal relations. The hunger strike of the prisoners of Ghazal Hisar is a conscious resistance against the execution machine and an organized policy of this by endangering endangering their lives. Striking prisoners have stood up to a government that has turned execution into a tool of repression and preservation of its power. Their voices are part of the widespread struggle of the people against repression, injustice, and tyranny, and should not be confined behind the walls of the prison. Reports of the deterioration of the physical condition of the striking prisoners have raised serious concerns. The Islamic Republic and its responsible institutions are directly responsible for the preservation of the lives and health of all prisoners, and any harm to the prisoners on strike will be directly responsible for the government authorities. The International Women's Solidarity Council calls for an immediate halt to the execution of these sentences and end to pressure on striking prisoners, immediate provision of medical services, and the guarantee of the fundamental rights of all prisoners. We call on women's movements, labor organizations, freedom fighters, progressive organizations, and human rights organizations to stand with the prisoners of Qazal Hasar and all the fighters against the execution by expanding solidarity and increasing political pressure. The resistance of Ghazal Hisar prisoners is part of the widespread struggle against the execution machine and all the mechanisms of repression of the Islamic Republic. Defending this resistance is defending the right to life, freedom, the right to protest, and the right of the people to fight against tyranny and injustice. Ending the organized policy of this is an integral part of the struggle for a free, equal, and human society. Not to be executed, not to be deliberately murdered by the government. International Women's Solidarity Council. Till the next video and text.